Hello and welcome to Chess with Simon. I'm Simon. Well, there's a lot of interesting things going on in these correspondence games. There's a lot of colour. There's a lot of pretty combinations. There's a lot of things going in both directions. We're going to start with Horde, which is fascinating. So I learned this from Horde Coach. What I learned from Horde Coach is that sometimes you can just waste time and let the pawns move forward, and it's kind of like one big zugzwang, because look, this pawn break loses a pawn. This pawn break allows us to take and then sack the bishop for 2 pawns. This pawn break's not correct. This pawn break loses a pawn, and this is not a pawn break. So what we can do is just kill time. Isn't that deliciously amusing? Until these pawns just run out of moves and sort of skewer themselves on our pieces. Oddly, or not surprisingly, or as it happens, I think the opposite's happening here, or the same thing is happening here, which is that I'm quite pleased with the fact that I haven't rolled over really quickly, but I'm going to try and move some central pawns up. I don't think I'm quite stymied, but I think Black's going to win this game. I'm not taking the bishop because it develops the knight. This is the game against Stuart. I think I've been very lucky to get such a good position against Stuart. He's a great player. I'm going to do this to block the pawn from the queen, control of the file, extra pawn up. I mean, Stuart's good enough to know if I don't mess this up, I should win this. I mean, the king can't really, the knight can't really unpin itself. It's quite hard work to unpin that knight, because if the king moves, you take it. If hard to get something in the way, isn't it? How do you even get something in the way? Maybe Black will start offering exchanges. So if I manage to mess this up, that'll be a real achievement. And, you know, I wouldn't put it past me. The game with Keith. I could, you know, honestly, the King's Gambit, how fascinating. So what we're not going to do is Bishop h4. And it's not because we're afraid of, pawn here takes, which one of my friends used to play, takes this. We're not afraid of that, although we find it very amusing. We're actually following the rule where I think I had a book on the King's Gambit when I was younger. Was it? I can't remember who it was by. Somebody Gallagher. And he said if the king can move to f1, then probably the check isn't worth doing. It's a bit like the King's Bishop's Gambit, isn't it? If the king can move to f1, then it's fine, because Black's losing time, because knight f6 doesn't work, because then you take the bishop, so the bishop's probably got to retreat. But if Keith had played this, then this check is more of a problem for white, because you're playing, the king's got to step forward onto one of these 2 squares. You can't even do this business with g3 because you can't castle. Oh, actually, well, there's one game where you do g3. Oh, like this? Yeah, that's the same idea as, okay, but you know, check. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't do that as white. So the thing is, what I think really is that Keith played the right move, and I'm not going to play the wrong move, and indeed the stats aren't as good for bishop h4 check. I'm going to play knight f6, which actually is the move I play, and also is the most popular move and has the better stats. Knight f6, develop a piece. We know what comes next, right, on that one. This one, I think I can push here at some stage. The king's going to run out of moves. I'm going to catch these pawns. I mean, for those that haven't seen this, it goes like this. Takes, takes, king here, there, waste time. Well, in fact, I've probably slightly messed that up, but never mind. Push, you know, we're all human. There, there, and then white can waste time. And then at some point, what happens is you do this, black goes here, you do the check. So now the black king is stalemated. So now white goes here, push, white goes here, push. You don't take it, you go here, push, check, takes, takes, and white wins. That's the concept. And it's basically happening because we've got 3 pawns here versus 2 in the final analysis. What did I say I was going to do? Push. I think that's what I said I was going to do. confused myself. Okay, this one, I think the queen's gonna, if only that were a knight, right? The queen's gonna snuggle in there. And it's quite hard to evict. No dark square bishop. See how much trouble it can cause. The answer is probably not much on its own. But what's interesting is, in the games against Nigel and Liam, I managed to avoid getting crushed on the king's side in this Grand Prix Sicilian. But in the other game, I think it was against Mark, I did get crushed as white in a similar idea. Anyway, because, yeah, I think Liam's a real expert in the Grand Prix Sicilian. I'm sure Nigel knows what he's doing as well, but Liam's played it for a long time. And here it is, and I'm going to try and grovel a draw. And I'm actually quite optimistic. Check, king there, check. Rook can't take, because then I take the rook, and that's dead even. So, you know, king does this. Takes, and then the knight comes home. And we're claiming we've got one weakness. I suspect, theoretically, I suspect there might be a way for white to win this, but it's going to take ages. And I'm not sure, actually. I'm not sure. I mean, should I really allow the swap? I think so, because I think it's more dangerous with the two white rooks. And I know you shouldn't be swapping pieces off when you're down material, but the point about chess is you got to know when to break the rules. I think here we're winning a piece, I'm glad to say. And so I think this is the trick. The trick is we take this knight with the bishop. King can't take because it loses the f6 knight. The knight can't take because it's pinned. The rook has to take. Then there's a check at the back here, and the king can't stay in touch with the knight. No way. So that knight's dropping. So I think we're winning a piece there, which is, I mean, and basically we've just built up the tension. We started with a King's Indian, in which I made a mistake, which we won't go on about. Then basically I refused to exchange of queens. Then I think I won a pawn. And now I think positionally this is really hard for black because those bishops are really awesome. There's a few pins on the board. White's got a space advantage. I also think white wins the pawn endgame. So that's a relief because I've lost a bunch of these games recently and it's, you know, losing chess games isn't a lot of fun. So I feel for my opponent because no one likes losing chess games. Anyway, what did I say? Take here. Take here. I think that's what I said. King can't take. Drops the knight. Knight can't take. Rook has to take. Check on b7. Drops the knight. Talking of losing chess games, yeah, I'd rather not talk about this. I want to give my opponent the satisfaction of showing me where the zugzwang is. Yeah. This one, Gary's been teasing me with a draw on this stuff. This is the only move that doesn't lose the piece. Maybe he can force a draw, which in many ways is better. I don't know if he can force a draw because let's see what we've had historically. Or maybe. So there's a check here. Okay, so what? Well, I've got to go back so I don't lose a piece. If there was a check on a2, maybe I could run to h3. But then maybe the problem is bishop g1. Maybe you can block it with knight e2, but should we leave that for Gary to work out? Or also, if there's a check on a2, you can block it with the knight, I suppose. I don't know, it's his game, right? This, I think we're a piece up here. I think we're going to take the rook. Yeah, I think we might be a rook up. Well, let's look at this, really look at this, okay? So I think we're going to do this, yeah, no, it's fine. You know, then just move the bishop. It's a piece, it's a rook, right? Yeah, I'm slightly hallucinating this. Okay, well, we'll find out. I think we're up a bit there. This is the game against Justin. Well, I didn't lose quickly. Justin's a good player, so that makes me feel good. That's my idea. Okay. Well, that's a good move. I think it's the best move. So, why should my opponent listen to me? He's beaten me. I assume it's a he. Siberian chess team. Large chess horde. Yes. Playing a lot of correspondence games, including one against me, and doing very well. Okay, I'm taking it. I think got to take it probably, otherwise you drop material. I guess I'm hoping for a two bishops ending where I sort of hopefully draw. Gareth. Well, do you play d5 and delay castling? I think, isn't it Sam Shankland who's been pushing this in his repertoire where you can castle, but look, d5's a better move. Yeah. You don't castle, and if they start attacking on the king side, you just let it happen and stay in the middle. And it's actually really good. Alright, Gareth. Let's see you. I've had a look at this. I'm still not confident on this because Ian's a very good tactician, but I'm taking the pawn because I've waited too long. I've sort of dilly-dallied for too long. I'm taking the pawn. This one, so I think there's two options. The first is the defensive one where you play pawn c4, which is sort of, I don't want to play chess, I just want to kind of kill the game off. Well, it's not a bad move, I think, pawn c4. But, you know, the more interesting move, and the move that's more in the spirit of the way Ian plays chess, is rook b8, obviously playing for pawn b4. So, should we play that? I mean, it worked so well for me when we played the Sicilian defence, didn't it? When I got absolutely mullered out of the opening. So, let's not learn from that experience. Let's just keep going. This one, I think we castle. We castle. We castle. I mean, I knew that anyway. I mean, it's kind of obvious. I mean, clearly there's other moves coming, but right now, this is an opening where we're not committing, we're remaining flexible. And so we're not fighting for the centre. So we may as well castle and then see what black does. We're sort of waiting. We're both waiting and seeing. But it's a beautiful opening and it's very correct. Yeah. Nick knew. Okay. Very good. Good move. Sensible move. So not going for a mega, because they can play g6 there, I think. I think we'll find, if we go back, they played g6 and go for like everyone fianchettos. Yeah. g6 has slightly better stats, actually. But e6, I suppose e6 is the main move, but only just, I mean, it's just a big decision, is that, I mean, he's basically, this is like a Queen's Indian setup now. So what will happen? Knight c3, bishop e7, yeah, so the bishop defect. And then you've got a choice of breaking the centre or playing rook e1. Rook e1, d6, e4, come on down, hedgehog. So now, all of a sudden, instead of a Queen's Indian, this is like a hedgehog formation. Gotta love a hedgehog. Okay, but we're not doing that tonight. We'll think about it. This, Ian. Oh, I hate it when I think all the moves have been made. It's so much fun. Okay, should we check all the moves have been made? I'm missing over the board. This wants me to I want to go back to over the board chess. I want to go back to, you know, it's actually really getting me into chess. Yeah, I think we've done them all. Which means we shall go and visit chess.com. This one, okay, this one, I'm sort of claiming I'm winning this one. So this one, I'm just claiming that we're going to just advance the pawns. What have we got? 2 extra pawns, but also positional advantage. I think we're just going to win this one. This is the rook's rule thing, which, by the way, I'm making a bit of progress on. Look, me and Sea Island Puffin are fighting it out. 97% complete. I think we've done loads of rounds of that. Good for your rook endings. almost by definition. Okay, so forward we go. Okay. This one, I think you got to play queen b3. I want to play pawn b3, but that rather drops the knight on c3. So we're going to play queen b3. Space advantage. Misplaced knight. Two misplaced knights, actually. I would say both knights are slightly misplaced, to be honest. But let's see. You know, let's not count chickens on that. I think you develop the bishop to a square, which looks a bit weird in a hypermodern opening, but it's a good square. It doesn't quite feel in the spirit of the opening, but it's a good square for the bishop. So, you know, one shouldn't be too dogmatic about the hypermodern, you know, modernist concept. I don't know. Bishop g5. Hit the queen. Probably, right? Develop a piece with tempo. Maybe they play f6. I don't think I'm worried about f6 particularly. Are we worried about f6? Nah. Fine. You want to play f6? Play f6. Oh, one thing I was worried about is if you're... Sometimes they can take on f3. If your queen is on d1, they take on f3, and then you can't take back because you lose the bishop, and you can't take there because they take your queen, they win a piece. But luckily my queen's here. I should have checked that before just, you know, playing a move. This one... Okay. This is Sea Island Puffin. This is the rook's game. If Sea Island Puffin's watching this, I'm thinking of playing f3. But I don't know. Maybe put the king closer. Well, I guess now I've played it. There you go. Yeah. I mean, I think I'm slightly better in this pawn end game. But I don't think White's going to win it. But I don't really see how I'm going to win it. I've got one idea. Okay, I've got one idea. Yeah, I've got an idea. I've got a decent idea of how to win that. Great move. I mean, instinctive. Well, I hadn't thought of that. I think it's really good. So probably, I mean, I'm not going to over push this, but it's probably the only move that saves the game. I'll go now. Of course, you can't take it with the pawn or the. You can't take it with the queen. You can't take it with the pawn because it pins the queen. So it does look like a good move. But then if I just develop this, probably I'm all right. Because then the queen's defended, and maybe am I a piece up or something? Yes. Could go a piece up. King's in your defense, 4-pawn attack, opening book club. I think White should have taken back with the rook here, because I think the whole point of bursting through and these tactics which involve the back rank bishop and then the bishop taking here were really powerful. And I think taking with the pawn, you miss a bit of that. So for instance now, can't my rook... I mean, you've got to be careful with this guy because it's really good. But can't you do this? I don't know. I've got 2 days to think about it. But I'm more optimistic there. Develop a knight. Just develop. So many games. Show the world your chess skill. Block with the bishop. I think we're a piece or two. Are we 2 pieces up? 2 pieces up. This is my tournament. Should we see how I'm doing in my own tournament? Oh, look at that. It's round 1. Okay. We should look at some other games from the tournament as well. I'm being a bit... Should we look at one other game from the tournament? Come on, let's see if there's an interesting game from the tournament. So let's look at other pairings. Let's look at someone who's come top of their group. 95 KAD. Okay, let's look at this game. Checkmate. Well, that's a good way to finish, isn't it? And it's a shame because it's against a ballet dancer. I like ballet. Okay, so here's the first thing. Carla. Okay, a little bit of free coaching. When they go d5, you got to take it. I mean, this isn't bad. This isn't a bad move. In fact, this is okay. White's probably still better after this because you can do takes, then swap the queens and you play c3 and you're okay. This isn't a bad move. I don't think black should have taken there. White's okay here. Yeah, great. No, not great. That's a piece. That would have been dropped a piece, doesn't it? Oh, no, it doesn't drop a piece. It's fine. I'm wrong. Well, okay, but I think black should have taken it and taken the bishop. But because then you lose the two bishops. It's also complicated, isn't it, chess? Oh, and I think White's played really well. Oh, pity. Dropped a piece. That was the problem. Up to here, I think White's played really well. If we were to put it into analysis, I bet we'll see White's better there. At that point, White will be better. Okay, point 1. Let's see if the engine thinks you're better after d3. It's actually quite a clever way to play it. Okay, equal. The thing is, there's an equivalent black handling of this. Okay, well, look, the engines know. What do engines know? Okay, this, before the bishop drop, I bet White's better. Well, no, okay, black's slightly, but I mean, is there a pawn deficit? I quite like White myself. Got the two bishops. I suppose black's got that advanced pawn. Anyway, there's a good effort by White. I think there's a lot of potential there. And I'm sure you've got a great chess future ahead of you. Now, I think we're done. Are we done? Is there any more games I've got to make a movement, or am I going to do a couple of tactics problems, which is my traditional way to end this thing? Okay, this one I've skipped. Oh, this one. Look, Josh Latosh. Come on, Josh. Josh has understandably retreated his bishop to defend the pawn, and now we are going to take this. Are we? What with? The knight. We're going to take with the knight or the bishop? We're going to take with the knight. I've decided. Yeah. I think this is a good move. I've done it. This g3 is the best move here. It's a standard move, and we're playing it. 4 knights English. This, I think, isn't this going to be a good move here? Defend the knight and set up various tricks. I mean, it's just cover check, isn't it? Yeah, I like this. Okay. Okay, so is that it? I think that's it. Hang on. Oh, okay. Here, this opponent, this person's pretty strong. They back the knight up. So my claim here is we're slightly better because my opponent's got an IQP. And we're very solid, very compact. Not many weaknesses. I think some piece is going to arrive on b4, isn't it? Knight or a bishop. Maybe a bishop. Swap some pieces off, head towards a better endgame. What could be better? I don't know which. I think this is the Reti. I think I'm not doing very well in this tournament. 2 go through, so the key is not to come last, although at the moment I'm well on track to come last. Okay, let's try, since it's midnight, the midnight hour, let's try to do a puzzle. I don't want to be, this won't surprise you, but I've got 3,000 in my sights. Okay, right, what do we see? What do we see? Rook check on h6, king takes. Rook takes knight, check. King g7, so what? Well, how about this? I like this. Rook takes knight, check. Queen takes. Then rook h6. And that's good, isn't it? That's what the puzzle is, I bet. This. Aha, so they didn't do queen takes. But that's fine, because now we're something or other up. We're exchange up. And although our queen is attacked, there must be a way out. Like, for instance, one way out would be to put the queen here. And that isn't a great way out, because then the queen takes my rook. But then maybe there's a rook check here. And when the king tries to stake in touch, there's a rook check there. Oh, that's so pretty. So I think what happens is you put the queen in f2, queen takes, rook takes, we're just up. But then queen takes rook, check, king can't take. King has to go ahead and stay in touch with the queen, check, and we're done. What? I got something wrong? I can't cope with this disappointment. Why? Okay, should we retry? Although, I don't know. What does retrying even mean? Check. Rook takes. No, you've got to tell me what it is. Something with this rook. I don't know. Check. Let's have a look at it. I got the first move right. Okay, there, check. There. Rook g6, and then when they take with the pawn, its mate at the back. Take with the king. Take with the king. Is there a sort of... Oh, queen takes, check, yeah. I looked at the engine. Okay, and what's wrong with my move, which I thought was really beautiful? This. Oh, rook c2. Pin. That's painful. Okay, should we take away the pain by doing another puzzle and risking going below 2900? Okay, so checks and captures first. This is a check and a capture. King takes. Check. Something in the way, but look, check. King takes. Queen check at the back. Is the rank weak? Yeah, there's no way of defending that, is there? Because nothing can stop it. Puzzles are so addictive. Come on, one more. I mean, not... Well, just because I love them. Okay. So this is complicated, isn't it? So if we take with the queen, queen takes queen, then you can't have rook takes. You've got to have king takes. And then you've got to have king takes. But that doesn't really achieve. And then you check here, then the king goes here, then there's nothing. So what's the answer, Ian? Are you watching? So the thing is, but what about queen here? Queen here, rook takes, check. Yeah, but so what? Check, king takes. Check, king takes. Okay, I'm going to take the queen, but I can't see why, and it's always a mistake when you can't see. You've got to really persevere till you can see. But queen here doesn't seem to work. Does queen here work? Oh, it does look threatening, doesn't it? Queen here is sort of a positional move. But then if you take here, isn't that just catastrophic? All right, we're going to try this positional move in a tactics game. Okay, let's have a look at the analysis. Is it queen takes queen? Okay, that's actually very similar. Yeah, pretty. Okay, so why did mine not work? Rook takes. Then I was going to play pawn takes. F3. Queen takes. Queen d6. And the game goes on. Okay. One left. We're not afraid of going over to under 2900, are we? Pawn push. Well, we're going to take that, aren't we, with check? We're going to take with the rook, or we're going to take with the queen? If we take with the rook, they can't put the queen in the way, I don't think. Well, hang on. They've got so much material. I guess we've got to be actually mating, which means that they probably can put the queen in the way, which means we've got to take with the queen. And then they can't put the queen in the way, then they've got to go on to this other file. So let's see. So queen takes, check. King here, say. Queen here, check. Queen in the way. And then are you checking here and looking for a perpetual? Or no, it's not a perpetual, it's probably a win. Takes, queen here. No, takes, king here. Check, queen here. Check. I think it's a win. I think it's this. Honestly, I love it when a plan comes together. And then check, and then queen in the way, and then check. Oh yeah, it feels good. Should go to bed, right? One of the things I think which does improve chess is like relentlessly working on chess. This also applies to other things apart from chess. So there's a king that doesn't have many squares going, does it? So for instance, rook here, next there's a check there, and how on earth is black going to cope with that? Rook here, check here next. I suppose black can cope by push, takes, queen check. I think this is winning. Push, takes. Thank you so much. Okay, that's enough. Enough is enough, as the famous song goes. And I think that was just right. Hope everyone's well. Hope to see you soon. I want to play some over the board chess soon. All right. I think one of my, I won't say which, one of the people I'm playing is going to come round and visit, and we're going to do some analysis of the game which we played. Keep well, everyone. See you soon.